was to engage the audience. Today is our VPE roundtable. And why is it important to master the art of engagement? Because we know, as I asked, I sent out a survey, and most of the responses I received from my VPEs are that the blue ticks are far too many nowadays. They do not know how to deal with those blue ticks. Number two, they do not understand how they can make the mentorship program work in their various clubs. And that is why we are here. This roundtable is designed to empower us as VPEs, to aspiring leaders and the public at large to learn proven strategies to boost member engagement, create impactful meetings, and lead with confidence. Are our meetings impactful? Are our meetings of good quality? Or we do it to tick a box because it can come to a point, get to a point where we just want to tick a box. Now, today's session, we are going to delve deeper into practical methods to increase responsiveness and create dynamic learning experiences. And our panel discussions are going to give us insights from experienced VPEs and community leaders on how to navigate the bloatics, on how to navigate the mentorship programs, on how to convene quality meetings or meaningful meetings. And then we shall have interactive Q&A sessions, get our questions answered by the experts who've been there, done that. Now, this is how our agenda looks like. So for now, at 10:06, I should be setting the agenda, which is what I am currently doing. And also doubling up as the SAA, I would also want to remind us to name correctly. The naming conventions are as follows. I'd already posted them on the chat, whereby you put a hashtag the role. If it is VPE, hashtag VPE, for example, hyphen Christine Oyugi, hyphen the club name. If you are a visiting Toastmaster, kindly put hashtag, then your name, the hyphen, the name of your club. If you are a guest, just put hashtag your name hyphen guest. I hope we actually, I'm going to post it again on the chat so that we can all be aligned. Today, I am flanked here by a host of role takers who shall be able to make this session engaging, meaningful, practical as much as possible. And for the person who will take us through that session, as I hand over to her immediately, because of the time, I shall also be the timer to time the program. Madam Josephine Osumo. Josephine Osumo is our Program Quality Director of Division B. She is a prolific speaker and writer. She has done so much in the space of Toastmasters and has contributed positively to ensuring that quality is maintained in our various clubs and in our various meetings and programs that we have as Toastmasters. Allow me, put your hands together, everyone, virtual hands, as we introduce our moderator of today, Josephine Osumo. Josephine Osumo will help me to adequately introduce role takers, including telling us their bio on what they're all about. Josephine Osumo, I hand it over to you. Welcome, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christy. Thank you. And for those of you who've just come, let's give a hand of applause to Christine. You know, this is not a physical meeting, so we will not see the hand claps, but feel free to do this. Feel free to put it in the, use the emojis and just thank the person as they leave. Now, Christine Oyugi is our area director, area 4, for those of you who might not know who she is. And she is passionate. Let me tell you, if you know what passion is, she is very passionate about coaching teams to be effective communicators. So in a nutshell, she's very passionate about communication and enhanced communication at that. And she is the force behind this VPE caucus that you're having today. She's an ardent project delivery manager. No wonder we're starting on time. Toastmasters aside. So it is my pleasure to be your moderator this morning and to just bring to you the various things you're going to have. I'm sure you've seen the program, and if you haven't seen the program, it's going to be put in the chat so that you can download it and just see. And hopefully we will move along the way that the program says, hoping that we are not going to be over time. But since it is raining, if we stop at noon, where will you people go? Where? This is a question. Somebody unmute, say.
Bed.
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 Yes, yes.
Everyone
And the
seems
chicken do bed.
everyone seems to be going back to bed. Nobody said to watch TV. Nobody said to read a book. We are all you're all
Bed.
going back to bed, surely.
Direct.
Now imagine that. Oh, no, 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 no. That shouldn't be. You shouldn't be going back to bed. Those who belong to reading leaders, please use this time to read your month's book. If you do not belong to reading leaders, reach out to Ahiga. She has a book that she can sell you and you can start reading it. We do not want people to go to sleep, but that's on a light note. Now then, our first speaker, I'm calling her a speaker, but really she's giving us a tip session, is Mercy Mwangi. Mercy Mwangi has been in Toastmasters for quite a while, and she has held various, what do you call them, roles. She's been the Vice President Education at Downtown Toastmasters, and she's still active there, mentoring and supporting club leaders. She is a customer success manager. Now, when you hear customer success, think of Toastmasters. Our customers, who are our customers in Toastmasters? Our customers are our club members. They're the ones we need to ensure that they get what they want. So Mercy, in her role as a customer success manager, helps clients develop effective recruitment strategies for both local and international hiring. Translate that to Toastmasters. She's going to be here and help us develop effective strategies to keep our members engaged, to have a good program as we go along. She's also passionate about personal growth and is focused on building high quality habits. Is TM Edwin Mind in the room? High quality habits and leading a fulfilling life. Her hobbies range from painting and pottery to being creative and to having a creative balance. Mercy Mwangi, take it away as you deliver to us our first tip session of the day.
Thank you so
I hope
much,
you
Madam.
have host rights, yes.
Yes, I do. Thank you so much, Madam PKD. Josephine Osumo. Allow me to share my screen. Just a minute. There we go. Okay, fantastic. Good morning, everyone. I truly hope that you had a wonderful night. I am delighted that you joined this call. I know some of us, aka Chibole, and the rest of us would rather be in bed right now, but I am glad that you took the time to join this particular session. So we have about 10 to 15 minutes to spend together, and I would like us as the fellow Vice President Education, the program quality directors, and any other leader or member in this room to learn from each other. So I know, and then you will share what you know, either at the end of the session or in the groups, whatever it is, we want to share the information. Is that okay? We're good? Okay. Fantastic. Thank you, Jocelyn. So what will we cover today? So my goal for this particular session is to equip the Vice President's education with actionable strategies to first, boost member responsiveness. Second thing, to create a dynamic learning experience for yourself and your members. And the third thing is we're gonna touch a bit on leading with confidence. I promise I will make this session to be as short and sweet and as interesting as possible. Believe it or not, my time as the Vice President Education last year at Downtown was delightful. Amidst the frustrations and the intensity of the work, I saw our members grow both in skill and in confidence, which made it all worth it. And so before we jump right into the first topic, I'd like to pose a question to you, my fellow audience. What's the biggest challenge you're faced in getting members to respond to your messages or to participate in club activities? What is the biggest challenge that you have faced in getting members to respond to your messages or to even participate in club activities? Maybe we can share some of these reasons that members actually give that give not to show up for meetings or for our club activities. I'd actually like 2 or 3 people to unmute and to respond. VPEs, do not blue tick me. Today is not the day for blue ticks. So what's the biggest challenge that you faced? Anyone on the call? Please just unmute and say your challenge. Anyone? Anyone?
Okay, I'll come to your rescue, Mercy.
Thank
This
you,
is
Frida.
One of the challenges is the fatigue and competing priorities. Either somebody work has changed or their life has changed, and then they've had a baby and they're going back to work, or they've got a new job, stuff like that. So competing priorities, and then just fatigue. They say fatigue. There's a lot of things going on. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. I really love that particular challenge because it touches on our everyday life. We're not only in Toastmasters, we are also people who work. We have families, we have children, we go to school. So at some point, you kind of just feel like you need to push Toastmasters aside for a minute and focus on these things. Thank you so much, Frida. I saw Winfred had raised her hand.
Yes, one challenge that I experienced as VPE in getting members to respond is just the fact that some communication channels are not easy to use, especially for people who are very busy or those who are not so quick, not so well developed in the way of communication. For instance, WhatsApp, members may not see your message up until the D-Day. And another one was holding a member accountable. There are members who can commit to doing something, but at the last minute, they will send apologies. I learned how to receive apologies, and and so getting backups was the way I tried to do that.
Yes, thank you so much, Winfred. We do have members who do not like WhatsApp messages, or members who just don't like messages altogether. Or if you're like me, you'll read a message, you will respond it in your mind, and then you will mark as unread to come back to it later. It really gets frustrating. And during my time as VP, I actually preferred making calls, which I think gave me feedback really fast, as opposed to sending out messages. Thank you so much, Winfred, for that. Maybe we can have one more response. Please unmute yourself and just share. What's your biggest challenge that you've been facing to getting your members to respond and to participate? Anyone going once? Need one more person? Winfred, okay.
Personality differences. Some
Okay.
members don't like being followed up as often. They may take it like you're badgering them.
Yes.
And sometimes even the VPE yourself, your personality, for me, I'm highly introverted. So following people up is a huge task.
Yeah.
It was a huge challenge for me. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. We're different in personality. We're different in how we respond to things. We're different in how we perceive things. So that always comes into play. So how are you able to bring your own personality? How are you able to respond to your members' like personality traits as well? I think the other thing that's used to be a challenge is the fact that some members are simply no longer interested or no longer motivated. How do you help with that? How do you rekindle their love for Toastmasters again? And then the other thing is the fact that the fear of public speaking tends to continue looming. We tend to still be very afraid about speaking in public. And so getting these members to feel confident again and to get back to the ring used to be a really big challenge. Thank you so much, Winfred and Frida. Great, so the first topic we're gonna look at is boosting member responsiveness. So here we're gonna look at to ensure that members are not blue ticking us on WhatsApp and all these other platforms, but they are on have planned for them. And the first thing we can do here is set clear expectations. This sounds like an easy one, but I realized that unless member expectation is communicated, some of our members simply do not know what to do. So what are the practical things that we can do here? The first thing is you can help them set simple, achievable, and time-bound goals and ensure that either you is following up with them and being accountable with them as well. It is okay to handhold our members either through projects or within a certain duration of time. Help them set goals that they can actually achieve. Use your communication channels. We have the groups on WhatsApp. You can do calls, whether you're a club that sends email. Use these channels to keep members informed and keep them motivated. For example, in the Downtown Toastmasters Club WhatsApp group, we share when a member is taking up a role in a different club so that we can all go there to actually to support them and to motivate them as they're taking up roles in the different clubs. Also within the WhatsApp group, we share tips and tricks for doing specific things, for example, table topics or evaluation, or we share other like interesting speeches that we have come across on YouTube or any other platform. Whatever it is, whatever you choose to do, the goal here is to keep Toastmasters at the top of their minds, even as they go through life. We have competing priorities. How do I make our members remember Toastmasters, even as they go to school, as they go to work, as they hang out with their friends, as they take care of their family? How do we keep Toastmasters at the top of their mind? The second thing we can do to boost the member responsiveness is to leverage on personal check-ins. Emphasize this enough, how important this is. Our members are more than role takers, fellow VPEs. They are humans. They're humans who are at work, they're humans who are in school, they're humans who have a social life. And so it is important for us to humanize the Toastmasters experience. And you can do this by, first thing, reaching out to your members and actually being curious about other aspects of their lives other than Toastmasters. Do you know where your members go to work? Do you know their careers? Do you know what they do on a random Saturday morning? Do you know what they do for fun? Or do you simply call them just to take up roles? No. Let us be curious about our members. The second thing is you can use this one-on-one conversations to reignite the members' enthusiasm and to clarify their goals. So even as you're calling to check in on them and to get curious about them, ensure that the goals that they started with, the things that they wanted to do, is still the same things that they want to do. And in case something has changed, then you're able to help them to change their direction. You're able to give them the resources they need to follow now the new path that they want to go through. As the VPE last year, I used to intentionally make phone calls to the members just to check in on them. And with time, this really helped with building trust, and our members felt that we cared about them. And I used this opportunity as well to clarify on what they wanted to achieve in Toastmasters within that period and season of time. Our goals tend to change based on the season that we're in life. So this is also the same in Toastmasters. The goals I had when I joined Toastmasters are not the same goals that I have now 3 years down the line. Things have changed, and it is now up to me to consult my VPE and my mentor in order to get the right resources to achieve the goals I have at this moment. The last point to boost member responsiveness is to utilize the feedback loops. The goal is to create member-obsessed and member-centric clubs. And so we need to get regular and consistent feedback from our members. How do we do this? We can send out quarterly surveys or polls and ensure that we are collating all of this information with our exco and then create action plans around them. I know we have the moments of truth, which does this really well. Have we done our MOTs? Have we created action plans? And are we actually achieving those action plans? Show your members that their opinion and contribution actually matters. It truly matters that they're able to see how whatever they're doing shapes the culture of their clubs. The second topic I want to look at is creating dynamic learning experiences. I don't know about you, but Toastmasters gets really intense sometimes. And it feels like I am back in school with a whole curriculum just waiting for me to finish. Imagine if that's how I feel as a leader, then how do our members actually feel?
You're muted. Please unmute.
Okay. I'm muted. So imagine if that's how I feel as a leader in Toastmasters, then how do our members feel in terms of their learning experiences? And so we need to create a learning experience that will keep our members not only hooked, but also refreshed all at the same time. Imagine that. So here, we're gonna do a couple of things. And the first thing is diversify your meeting formats. Add some spice to your meetings. You can have really interesting themed meetings. You can have speakathons. You can collaborate with other clubs. Just ensure whatever it is you're doing, that your monthly meetings are as exciting. Also consider to have multiple social events so that members can come together in a less intense environment and enjoy themselves. Whatever it is, just challenge your members to come up with these exciting and intriguing meeting topics. If they come up with the topics themselves, they're going to own that process. They're going to create things that they actually enjoy. The second thing is, we're actually having this conversation before the meeting. Incorporate technology. Encourage your members to get creative by using tech tools. For example, there is Mentimeter for presentation currently using. We also have Kahoots for game sessions, which we love using here in Toastmasters. We also have Udly, which you can use to practice, which your members can use to practice, get real-time insights. We also have so many other tools. It could also be as simple as letting them know that they can edit their presenters on Google Docs for that real-time interaction. If you have used Google Docs before, then you know how convenient it is and how great it is to make edits with someone else on the document as well. The short thing here is technology keeps things interesting. Technology keeps things exciting and refreshing. So get yourself and get your members on board and use as many tech tools in Toastmasters as you can possibly find. There are tools online currently which are free to use. Test them out, show them to your members, test them out in your meeting, of experience that you'll have. And lastly, recognize. Let's recognize and celebrate our members' achievements. Let's create a culture of recognition in our club. Everything, celebrate anything, from speeches delivered to first time taking up a role. Follow your members on social media as well, so that you're able to see when they update any work or school milestones, and then go ahead and give them shout outs. If you have members who have been promoted, rave about it, talk about it, congratulate the members, be a part of your members' everyday lives and not just their Toastmasters life. I promise you, you will not believe how recognition motivates members. So please test it out in your clubs, and you can always let us know how that goes. And the bonus, the final topic here is leading with confidence. As the Vice President Education, you need all hands on deck to boost your confidence in this journey and also to help you finish strong. And so based on my own VPE experience, here's what I did to help me boost my confidence throughout my tenure. The first thing I did was I became a Toastmasters knowledge hub for our members. Oh my goodness, I spent hours on the Toastmasters website, hours on Basecamp. I familiarized myself with pathways. I knew where all of the resources were. I read the monthly Toastmasters magazine. I shared the tips that were shared there on our groups on our WhatsApp. I intentionally consumed as much knowledge as I possibly could, which made me a subject matter expert to our members. Whatever they needed, I knew either where to find it or I knew the person who had it. I was on top of my game as a VPE. So confidence by being well informed and always being ready to guide your members to getting exactly the kind of resource that they need. The second thing I did was I owned my impacts. My job was not just to plan meetings, no ma'am. I went above and beyond. I had members, I had our members and our mentors trained to be well equipped to provide value to our other members. I got guests and other people from other clubs to give tip session on how to either navigate evaluations, how to do table topics, how to do contests. I worked with my executive committee to lead the club to success. My leadership directly influenced the growth of our members. You as the leader, you as the VPE, you as the PQD, you need to recognize that your impact and the fact that everything you do for your club actually matters. So, and I promise you, this kind of confidence, it's contagious and it will help you push through until your tenure ends. And the last thing is leading by example. To be honest, this is more of a call to you than it is what I did. I really struggled with my own Toastmasters goals when I was the VPE. And I did not achieve as much as I would have liked to, but I do hope that things are different for you. When all is said and done, what is my call to you, fellow VPEs? The first thing is guide your members by helping them set realistic goals and help them to follow through with them. Let me tell you one thing, when members see their own progress, they always choose to stick around and they choose to participate actively. You will not have a challenge with a member who's able to see their own progress. And don't forget to check in on them regularly as well. Your members are more than role takers. The second thing is create a learning experience that members won't want to take a break from. Create fun meetings, incorporate technology, as I mentioned, and award members every step of the way. Do not forget, ensure that the members are part of the process. Let them be the ones to suggest these topics. Let them to be the one to suggest where they want to hold their social events. Make them part of the process. And finally, build your confidence as a leader and never forget that your impact matters. I truly hope that this helps and that you and your members get the most out of your investment here in Toastmasters. Thank you so much, everyone, and back to you, Josephine, for so long.
A round of applause for Mercy. Thank you so much, Mercy. Yes, that was really, I keep on telling people, if you do not write notes, you do not remember what you have learned. And I have taken down my notes and have remembered what Mercy has said. I have 5 minutes for question and answer session. And something else, Mercy, were you able to see the timer? I usually know that when I am presenting, sometimes I'm not able to see the timer.
No, I was not able. My
You are not
apologies.
able. All righty. So, Madam Timer, you will call out the time. So I think you just interrupt the person presenting and then call out the time so that the timer can they can know what time they have left. Questions? Going once? One of those people. It will go very fast. You will wonder. Going twice? Either Mercy is a very good facilitator. You got everything that she said, or collectively, we did not understand a thing. Which is it? Somebody unmute and tell me which one it is. Are we good or did we not understand? It can't be both.
It was excellent.
It was
All right.
excellent. We are still absorbing.
Okay. We are still absorbing. VPEs, mumenyamaza. Imagine hii ndio vile blue ticks. This is how they feel. And Mercy had said, this
I
is
have
not
a question, Madam Moderator.
Oh, yes. Go ahead, Madam Edie.
I liked the fact that she talked about humanizing the Toastmaster experience. I do not know how she has managed to do this. Remember, as a VPE, you are hard-pressed to have a meeting and have all the role takers. And someone drops out last minute, you're human, you really feel you off balance. So what do you do? How do you humanize that experience, knowing that yes, something must have come up, somebody is doing something that is cool. How do you manage that part of humanizing that experience? I'm now talking as a former VPE. Thank you.
You want Mercy? Mercy, you want to take this?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you so much, Christine. And I completely relate with that fact, and especially if you have 5 minutes and you have no role takers, then now you become insane. I think that the aspect of humanizing the Toastmasters experience needs to start way before even planning the meetings, and that's why it's important to actually reach out and check in on members without necessarily needing to reach out to them just for roles. Okay, so there's now the part where you need to take the time way before the meetings, and way before things now become really intense, to now reach out and to check up on them. The other thing is always have a pool of members that you know can take up roles instantly. And that is something that really helped us. So at any given point, I had my 5-10 people who I knew can deliver a speech in 5 minutes, can be the table topics master in 2 minutes. So already have a pool of people that can be able to take up these roles instantly and fast, so that you're not now feeling pressed and feeling like really anxious, and then you're also not reaching out to these members who are not really ready to take up roles instantly like that, and then ending up being frustrated in the process and also frustrating the members. So if we plan early, check up on them before the meeting, so that we are also able to have conversations other than Toastmasters, and then just have a pool ready of people who because we all have those members who don't overthink, members who do not need a lot of time to prepare. Always have them on standby. They'll really come through for you those days. Back to you, Josephine.
Thank you so much. And just to add on to that, something else that I found worked in my club was the VPE subgoals. So don't just talk to the member when they have signed up for a role, but also talk to the members when they have not signed up for a role. Have the subgoals do rotational basis. So how many are we here? We are 24. Let's say the subgoal has 5 people. It means that in a week, I'm only reaching out to 5 people to ask them how they are within that week. The next week we switch. I reach out to another 5 people. The other week we switch again. We reach out to other 5 people. By the end of the month, each and every person has spoken to a member of Toastmasters every single week. And we are able to know that, okay, this person was going through this week. How are they doing? Are they able to do their role? Things like that, so that we are not taken by surprise, and they do not feel that the only time we are reaching out to find out how they're doing is when they're taking their roles or when they're delivering their speeches. Frida, I can see your hand up. You are on mute. Oh, okay, there you go.
Thank you very much, Mercy, for that very insightful session. I'm curious, how old is Downtown? Downtown, it's called Downtown, right? Downtown Toastmasters Club. And for how long were you, the experience you've given us is for when you were VPE. How long had you been a member at Toastmasters? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frida. So Downtown, this year we turned 10. We are officially 10 years in Toastmasters. So that
Double
is really an
digits.
exciting, yes, double digits, such an exciting milestone for us. So we turned 10 this year. I became VPE after 2 years in Toastmasters. So I joined, I was a member only for a year. The second year I was the VPPR role I enjoyed thoroughly. And then now the third year I was the VPE.
And one last question, how many members were you at that time you were VPE?
We were about 40 members.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think that's a very important statistic, especially for the younger Toastmasters clubs that are coming up. I find that we compare ourselves, and sometimes we are comparing apples and oranges. So that is very encouraging for everyone. It's very encouraging for me to know that at 10, at 40, we can get to 40, we can get to 10 years. So we keep striving. Thank you so much for sharing, Madam Josephine.
Thank you so much. And we have Charles Tuo. I think this is the last question we'll take, and then I'll ask anyone else who has a question to put them down on the chat, and we'll answer them later. Charles Sorongai, go ahead.
Moderator, we are out of time.
Can we take Charles's, and then I will?
Yes.
Yeah, Charles.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mercy, for the tips. My question is about the feedback loops. Do we have any templates available for the VPE surveys?
I believe we should have. Maybe I can just check on that, then I can DM you the templates.
Thank you.
Right, thank you so much. Another round of applause for Mercy's very wonderful session. I think we can go now. And those ones who want to sleep can go and sleep. They can sleep earlier. We have had so much told to us this morning that if you go to sleep right now, you can think that you have done well. But hey, do not go. We have more coming up for you. And right now we are getting into our panel discussion led by yours truly, myself. Our panel discussion is made up of VPEs, former VPEs, and people who have been in Toastmasters for a while, so they know what they are talking about. I will ask our SAA, I think, as I call out the names to just pin them. We have Wahiga Gishinga. Wahiga, for those who do not know, is an avid poet. She has written a book. And that book, if you do not have it, please, I told you earlier, look for her and buy it. So Wahiga Gishinga is an author. She's also a leadership coach and a trainer with the John Maxwell team. Hoi. She has been an accountant for 14 years. Now, if you're thinking, how does accounts and poetry converge? Look for her Wahiga and ask her. She has an MBA in strategic management, which tells you that when she's talking about VPE roles, she has strategy to back it up. And currently in Toastmasters, she is the current Division C director. Yay! And is passionate about helping people build their confidence and develop their leadership capacities. Give it up for Wahiga. I'm looking for you people to give it up before I call the next person. Our next panelist is Dan Odaru. Dan belongs to 3 Toastmasters clubs. 3 Toastmasters clubs. And if you people belong to Almasi, Zumaridi, and Downtown Toastmasters, let me tell you, Dan has taken it up a notch. Dan belongs to Eclectic Image, an advanced club in the US, not in Kenya, in the US. Then he belongs to K Toastmasters and is currently serving as area director, area N3 in Northern Division, District 35 in the US. And he's here among us. He has 3, he's a member of 3 clubs. One of them is in Kenya. The rest is in Uko. They're outside over there. Daddy is a career hotelier and is passionate about exceptional service. He's also an insurance sales advisor and a multi-level marketing professional. He's a life and speaking coach, and he did the legacy path, that's what I'll call it, the legacy path in Toastmasters before we got our pathways, and he reached up to the level of competent communicator. Dan, am I correct? Oh, yes. So now he can tell us a thing or two. Our next role taker, wait, where I'm not seeing those emojis and claps for these people. Where are they? Emojis and claps, please. Our next role taker is Chibole. Her second name, I had told her I will never pronounce it. She is a seasoned customs officer with 14 years experience. If you have any problem with your customs when you're bringing things in and you're a Toastmaster, you know who to talk to now. I've just told you. She's a certified mediator and arbitrator. If you're fighting with your neighbors, you also know who to talk to. Please, it's not for free. You need to pay her for these things. She's also a strategist and a policy maker. You know those things we hear about rent, oh, my neighbor said we did what, my neighbor said we did what, and you're wondering who to run to, and you're around here looking for lawyers. Please go look for Chibole. She's going to help you out. She's passionate about leadership and Africa's transformation and mentorship. We have a champion in our midst. I wish we were in a physical audience. I tell you people to stand up, but since we are here, she is the 2024 District 114 International Speech Champion. Let's give it up for Chibole. And finally, we have Karen Olege. No, I'm not seeing these people. Let me see where they are. Karen, where are you? Oh, good. Yeah, there you are. Karen is a seasoned HR professional with extensive experience in people development. And even as she says that she has extensive, even as I say she has extensive experience in people development. Karen also develops people outside her scope of work within Toastmasters. I have seen her do this firsthand. She has done it. She has been, well, I'll talk for ages if I start talking about Karen's work in Toastmasters. She's passionate about organizational transformation and leadership, and she has held various roles in the INGO sector where she has worked, leading various transformational projects. She's passionate about public speaking, leadership, and confidence building. And that is why she volunteers in Toastmasters, because she knows she can grow others as she grows herself. Karen told me at the end of the day, she likes to wind down with a homemade traditional Kenyan meal. Ugali skuma na madondo is right there. Don't ask me. I have no idea whether people eat ugali skuma na madondo. Karen, what is this homemade Kenyan meal? How does it look like? You need to tell us. And a science fiction movie. These are our panelists for today. These are our panelists for today, and we are going to ask them questions for the next, what time is it? 10:50 for the next 20 minutes, and just find out, are we doing the right things? What can we do better? So, Madam SAA, could you please pin all the people together? Let me see if we can pin all of them. It will be really good. Or spotlight them, so that we can all be seeing the
They're
screen.
already pinned, Madam PQD. Moderator,
okay.
You're not able to see them?
Imagine I'm seeing myself. I don't know why, but I am seeing myself. But it's all right. If the rest can see them, it's good. Okay, so the first question goes to all of you, and I will start with Karen. Just tell us about your journey, and as a former VPE, and we have 1 minute for this for all of you. What are some of the key challenges you faced when improving member performance, and how did you overcome them?
Thanks, Josephine. I think the challenges that I faced are very similar to what our tip session speaker, Mercy, talked about. Lots of blue ticks. At times, it also just gets hectic organizing a meeting every other week in the midst of every other thing that you're doing. Also, just motivating the club members to take up roles and participate in the club events. That was such a big challenge. And I think these challenges, they cut across, I think, every VPE. You're familiar with this. The challenges are the same across the clubs. What did I do to overcome these challenges? Of course, I had to do a big job in motivating my members to take up roles. And how I did this, there's lots of tips that the tip session speaker has shared, which I also used. I think because I was also mentored by other people when I was taking up the VP role, but making the meetings about the members. So I would challenge a member to take up a meeting, be a TMOD to a meeting, give us a meeting agenda or title that resonates with what they do, and make the meeting about themselves. And this way, most people would be excited about taking up a meeting. For example, you're a salesperson, and I tell you, come and tell us about that insurance that you sell. Make the meeting about insurance products. And of course, this is an area that makes the member tick. So they would plan a meeting around this. They would even get an external speaker, and they would make it into a big affair because it's really about them. And they would then get tip sessions even around questions related to what they are, what they are about. Some people are about sports, and they would make a meeting about sports. Other people are about leadership. Others are about, or rather passionate about putting smiles on people's faces. You know who I am talking about. And I would ask them to come and make the meeting about them. And I think this way, I just got better engagement from my members. I think that's one tip that I can really share. But being part of your members' lives and not just calling them when you need roles. And I understand how it's a challenge for a VP because you also have life that you're doing. So you probably don't have time to just call people. But Josephine has shared a good tip there about just dividing this role across the exco members, and check on your members. Let's not, sometimes a VP calls you and you don't want to pick because you know they're asking for a role. Let you not be the VP that only calls when you're asking somebody to take up a role. Call even just to find out how the members are doing. Back to you, Josephine.
Thank you so much. I will ask the same question to Wahiga, but I want a unique challenge that you faced or that you face when you want to get members to do something. What is one unique challenge that you have faced?
Thank you. Well, my year as a VP was a very successful year. I think it is one of the leadership roles that I have taken, given all the other flowery ones that I have taken that I'm really proud of. But it's based on a few things that I stood on. One, I had a mentor. Two, I had a great support team. And three, I did it because I saw somebody do it so well that I wanted to do it just like they did it. And one of the greatest things that happened that year is I had no time that I was worried that anybody would drop out of a meeting role. The whole year, nobody dropped out of the meeting role. And the challenge I faced was looking for spaces for my team outside the club. So that's how I was dealing with it. So, but that pride was quickly punctured because I think I was in the last year of the legacy program as a VPE, and then realized I have 53 members and only 8 have opened the Pathways program, done a speech, and yeah, I was putting myself up to fail and putting up my club to fail in the next Toastmaster year. And that was the challenge I faced at that moment. And I was wondering what to do with myself and my team. What did I do? I reached out to young clubs that had adopted Pathways, clubs like Rafiki Toastmasters, and there was Sarah Odiabo from Kwanza. How Sarah had managed from Kwanza to be a Pathways champion, I still don't understand, but she's one of the people who held my hand. And I had several people from other clubs come and mentor people in Pathways in my club, have tip sessions and hold up. By the end of the year, I think we had about 50% of the people having adopted Pathways, having started at least a level and then finished a level or some of them 2 levels. And we were able to transition quite well into Pathways. Yes, that was the challenge. And I realized that this VP journey depends with the culture of the club, the support you have, and the energy you run with when running the program. But yes, it was a successful year, and I think my breath was not taking roles, my breath was transition from the legacy program to Pathways program.
That
Back
sounds
to you.
like sleeping and having the blanket yanked out when you're thinking, I'm sleeping nicely. All right, thank you so much, Waika. I come to Chipole and I'll ask a different question. We have clubs that struggle to help members achieve their goals consistently. So we come up and then we dip and then we come up again. So how would you help your members align their goals with the educational program so that you are able to measure their progress?
Thank you very much, PQD, Josephine. Good morning, everyone. What has worked for me is cohorts. So at Almasi, I'm VP Almasi Toastmaster Club. I have arranged my members into cohorts. The cohorts are determined by 1, the level that you're in, and 2, your personality. So you gauge the members' personality and the levels that they're in, and then you put them in cohorts. Secondly, I put each cohort with a specific mentor. So each cohort has a mentor, most likely not from our club. Our club members only mentor level 1. The other levels, we try and get experienced Toastmaster from other clubs. So you have them in a cohort and you have them with a mentor. Then as a cohort, they agree on the goals that they're going to achieve or they want to achieve, and they pursue it together. So that collective responsibility. So when someone reaches out to me, say Toastmaster, he guys in a cohort and says, slot me up to speak on a certain date, you come as a cohort. You're not coming alone. Come as a cohort. So that way, what has happened, of course, there are few who will still fall out. You never lack those. But what has happened is we have had cohorts graduate levels. And when they graduate, please, I echo what Marcia said, celebrate them, make it a big deal, because it is a big deal. Celebrate them. So that putting them together with like-minded people who are at the same level, and then giving them collective responsibility and putting them under one mentor and celebrating them when they hit those milestones has worked for me. What has that ensured? It has ensured in each level in my DCP, we have already struck out, because I have 2 who have already finished a pathway. For level 4, they're finished. The cohort that was on level 3, all 5 of them have finished the level. So it is that collective responsibility. I have seen it work like magic. Back to you, PQD.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Cohorts. Wow, that's a new one. I hope you guys are taking notes. That's a new one. And then you copy and paste. As people said, there's no point in reinventing the wheel. Just copy paste and hope that it works. The one that does not work, remove. The one that works, run along with it. Done. We come to you. And for your question, I want to ask, you belong to 3 distinct clubs. So you belong to an advanced club, you belong to Toastmasters, that is an upcoming club and meets some very weird time of the morning for those people who do not know. Then you are also an area director in an area so far away from where we are. But the question is, the DCP targets. You guys know about DCP targets? I hope you do. If you're a VP and you do not know about the DCP target, please look for your mentor, look for your president, and ask them what are these DCP targets Josephine is harping on about. So the DCP targets, how do you balance the planning for meetings against getting DCP targets in clubs and as a VP against the immediate need of filling weekly roles? So how will you as a VPE look at, we have DCP goals over here. I have the weekly meetings over here. I have my club members' goals over here. How can I marry these 3 so that we get good meetings, so that our members are not burnt out, so that they do not feel as though I keep on pushing them?
Thank you, Josephine. That's a little bit of a complicated question. You complicate the matter very much, but it's a very simple question. DCP goals are a part of what you do in the club. So there's nothing complicated about DCP goals. It's just what have you done in your levels? Who is doing what speech and what level reaching? So at the beginning of each term, you find out when there's the club success plan, who is doing what, where someone arrived at, what project are they taking, and what level do they have to finish. One of the things is to start when you're picking up the goals and speaking, what project am I speaking on and what level I am at? So when we have that very clear, it fits in very well. So you know the speech is coming on at that point when this person completes this speech, and you plan ahead. So you plan for the next, we don't plan a meeting, the coming meeting, the meeting 2-3 meetings ahead. So we have a calendar of meetings, what's happening in advance, and we're placing what each person is doing. So they can see clearly, as I'm doing a role, I'm also achieving my DCP goal because I am getting this level. I've finished at level 1, I've finished at level 2. What do I need to do? So when you marry all that together, it becomes very easy. I mean, you don't have to overthink it. It's a matter of clearly stating at the beginning what each member is doing, what level you reach, what pathway have I taken, what level is that pathway. And then when working with your mentor, you say, this is the pathway I reached. So when you're putting people into, when you're putting in you're planning and you have the plans there, you know that these goals are being achieved. In the next third or fourth meeting, you'll have achieved so many goals because someone will have completed. Where is he completing? So when we have that, we have then members looking out for opportunities. So you can't have members asking you for opportunities to complete because I'm at this level, I need a slot to do level 2 or my level 3. And as they're doing that, you're also recognizing and you're giving them recognition. When you do recognition, people then look out for opportunities to come in there. So you're doing two things. You're filling in roles. You're having people completing the DCP points, seeing where they are. And that helps you achieve. The club then helps achieve. And when you go to an advanced club, in an advanced club, as we are in one of the places in an advanced club, we're self-directed. People tell you where they want to go. In an advanced club, the DCP points are by the way, they're an afterthought. So we normally get 10 DCP points the first month as we begin. We already finished 10 because everybody has their clear goal marked as they come in. So when you have that clear goal in, your role as a VPE is very easy because you're just slotting in and you're consulting and slotting in people where they need to be slotted in. So you have a plan for the 6 months in advance. You have people slotted in. You have backups. In the event that someone falls off, you have a backup, so you don't have to scratch your head with it. DCP goals achieved, slots filled prior to even asking for them to be filled. And this is what we do, how you do in a major plan. So you have a plan which is overall, how am I doing overall? So you're not just looking at one small ticket, who is filling slot. You're looking in the next 6 months, who has filled the slot, what are they doing, all in one. That's how you work it. I hope that is clear enough. You're muted. If you're speaking, just
Oh, sorry. I was saying that is very, very clear. And jumping off of what you have said on celebrating and just recognizing people, I'm going to jump to Karen, who also spoke about this, about ensuring that we celebrate people's achievements, because this can boost morale. But the question will be, there are clubs who their members are stretched thin, in the sense that you do not have money in the kitty. So what are some of the things that you will do to recognize and reward members' milestones? A few tips, 2 or 3 tips to just let people know you can do this or you can do that.
Yeah, I think recognition is a challenge, as you say, just in many clubs, because sometimes it can be financial and you don't have the resources for that. But I think one thing we need to do is just to be intentional about budgeting for something small. Be intentional about it and include it in how you access the funds for running your meetings. For example, I know some people pay a guest fee, other people pay a monthly fee on top of what goes to Toastmasters International. So I think there is room for us to be intentional about budgeting to recognize, and it doesn't have to be a big thing, but be creative and find small ways in which you can recognize people. Secondly, I think we need to use social media more. It feels nice when you're recognized, on social media, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, for example. If the VPE or the president of the club just takes time to write down a message from the heart. And sometimes, guys, we know when a message is AI generated, and we know when a message comes from your heart. So just writing that message to say this person, this is the journey that they have walked. These are the challenges that they have gone through. Because as a VP, you are aware. Sometimes the several attempts this person has made on a speech, the several times they have met their mentor. and acknowledge that it has taken effort for this person to complete that level, for this person to complete that pathway, and tag as many people as possible. Most of us Toastmasters are, for example, on LinkedIn. So tag us so that there is that visibility. It feels good to be publicly praised. Well, it feels good for me, that I know, and I know it would feel good for many other people. So tag as many Toastmasters there, as many Toastmasters clubs, and this person's recognition is gonna stand out. I know people who have been spotlighted by their employers because of recognition that is Toastmasters related on their LinkedIn profiles. So if we do this, it's likely to go a long way. And then, of course, in addition to that, praising them in the meetings, praising them in the WhatsApp groups, having your VPM just create a poster with this person's face and take a whole week sharing that poster over and over, celebrating this person for completing a level or completing a pathway. I think there's more that we can do that is not financial related. And just those small actions, they go a long way in motivating a member.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going to jump to Adanje. And one of the things that you are doing as a club is ensuring that your meetings are run in cohort. So you said that you do not come by yourself, you come with your whole cohort. And there will be those people who will fall off. Yes, that is expected, or rather planned for, but expected, but sometimes not planned for. But how would you say that you ensure that you have a high quality agenda? How do you ensure that you have meetings that are impactful? How is it? What are some of the tools and templates and approaches that help you streamline the planning process so that you do not sacrifice quality even as you are working within those cohorts? For those people who do not work for cohorts, are there any tips that you can have, any tools that they need to use, or templates? Feel free to share to ensure that your meetings are of high quality and you do not water down the quality of your meetings.
Let's leave the templates to Downtown Toastmaster. By the way, if you don't know, if you're looking for any templates, just go to Downtown Toastmaster. Those guys have a template for everything, even a timer's report. But anyway, back to your question, PQD. Quality meetings. Well, what I would share my planning tip is I plan in advance. I was so glad when Odero was talking. I'm like, oh, after my own heart, I plan way in advance. But when I took the role in June, by beginning the first meeting of July, I had filled up until December, all the way till my last meeting, which is 16th December. What does that mean? I am not that tech savvy, but I have an Excel sheet that I have all the role takers, TMOD, blah, blah, blah. I think there are 14 of them if you're doing 4 speakers and 4 evaluators, yes. And then I have the dates of the meeting, all the base, two of them in a month, so they're not that many. And then fill it up. Call whoever you need to call, book them, and fill it up. And when I book a TMOD, I'm very clear. Should you happen to not be available on that day, it is your responsibility to find an equal matching replacement. And I tell them why I have chosen them. When I chose Warugoro from Simba, I told her very clearly, I'm choosing you for the vibe, the energy that you bring. So if she knows if she's not present, she just can't go and pick someone else. She has to pick someone who is matching the reasons as to why she was chosen. So I do that with all of it. So what my plan was, and I was very intentional, July to December, I am doing outsiders. That is visiting Toastmasters for the role of GE and the role of TMOD. Why did I do that? One, to bring in other people's experience into the club, but two, to allow my members, because you start taking up the project for managing online meetings, I think it's level 3 or 4. That is when you start taking up. So I wanted to allow my members to have done level 1 and 2 before I start giving them TMOD role. So January next year, God willing, January to June, the role of Toastmaster of the Day will be exclusive a member's role. but July to December was exclusively very experienced Toastmasters from other clubs coming in to pour into us. So that is one. So plan in advance. I get amazed when I see people posting looking for a Toastmaster for a meeting, which is next week. Like, people are different, but I personally, my anxiety would be all over the place because I don't know how to operate like that. So I'll plan all the way in advance. The GE is advanced. I will ask for the photos. My TMODs get surprised because you say yes, the next thing I'm asking you is a photo. And then I have a list of themes. In the due event, I find a TMOD. I have not yet used it because all the TMODs are creative enough. But in July, I had already made a list of themes. And even when events happen in Kenya, when we are never short of events, I come up with a theme and I put it there as a backup. Just in case we find a TMOD, a replacement last minute who is not, we have a theme ready. I don't know which number I am, but whichever number I am, fourthly, I work very closely with my VPPR. Why? Because those posters are out prompto. Prompto. Like if you come to Almasi Toastmaster and you're in a planning group, you won't finish a week after our meeting before the next posters come up. So we wrap it, we keep it moving. The energy stays consistent. We don't want to lose it. So the posters are ready on time. The TMODs, the GE is booked on time. For the speaker role, it is filled by the members because of the cohort arrangement. It's filled by the members. The evaluators, I try as much as possible. We started doing evaluators from in Toastmaster in October. July, August, September, the first quarter, all our evaluators were external because we didn't want to regurgitate what we have in case we have it wrong. So we brought in a lot from outside. And we worked that out by identifying, we were bringing per club. There was a time Hill Toastmasters were our evaluators. So all the 4 evaluators come from one club. We don't mind losing a banner. We will come for it. It's just a banner. And we have had Mombasa Islanders as so we would select a club and then we'd ask this club, provide us evaluators. Now, what that does is it's also, I can't see the timer, please. Okay. If I go out of time, just ring the bell.
Or just wrap up then.
Okay. So it also challenges the members because now the other club will be calling and they'll be wanting role takers. So it challenges our members to go out and serve in other clubs. And when you serve in other clubs, there's an energy, there's a vibe that comes to you that now you don't need the VPE to keep inspiring. You're like, hey, this other club is doing this. I saw this in this other club. And when we come to cooking our pot, the meal is delicious. And that's how we achieve quality meetings. So plan ahead, plan in advance, lock it up, have the posters ready, invite as many as you can from outside because that will also challenge your members to go outside and you'll be able to bring in the spices from all over and make quality meals. I'm done, timer. Back to you, PQD.
Thank you so much. One of the things I picked from what you have said, and one of the things that most people do not remember is if somebody drops off from a meeting room, it's their responsibility to get you a replacement. They shouldn't transfer that headache to you. And most people just drop off and they're like, okay, I'm done. But it's their responsibility to get you a replacement, especially if it's a meeting rule that happens. Although, yes, we do recognize that there are times that this can happen last minute, but that is it. Wahiga, my question to you is this. You have told us the way your time as a VPE was really, really good until you woke up with the blanket yanked out of you when people were transitioning from the legacy program to the pathways program. But what is the one piece of advice you would give a new VPE who wants to save time, to boost morale, to boost member performance, to just ensure that their members are all in during their time as VPE? What is the one piece of advice you would give them?
What I would say is there is the leadership aspect of a VPE, other than just playing the role. And if you're able to manage the leadership aspect of the role well, then other things fall into place. And I'm happy to hear conversations with the other panelists of how they have managed the leadership aspect, especially like Chibore, identifying the challenge with the club, identifying the quality level of the club, and managing how growth happens. And I like her way of doing it. What I would say, for example, how I did it was I told people I am your winning ambassador. I'm here to help you win. So then I wasn't this lady who is here to whip you to play roles and do stuff. I was here to support you. I was here to help you win on your goals and do something good with yourself. And I looked at that in a way that told me that if I work with people to support them win at their level, they will do anything for me. So I started with helping members identify their goals. What do they want to achieve? And when I am filling up the timetable, then I would put in their goals. If you want to have done a level 1 or level 2, we map it through the whole year, what you would have done. And also identifying the different categories of people in the club. There are people who are self-starters. There are people who need a nudge. There are people who are here because the boss paid. There are people who are here because they saw an interesting guy last weekend and they need to hang up with this guy. All those people are in the club. One thing I made sure was that I will not have any idle energy in the club, because when I have idle energy in the club, they will pull other people to the bench. And so regardless of your motivation of why you came, we needed to work out something. And so for the self-starters, I had no problem. Those ones will show up and do anything they want to do for themselves. And the question is, how can I slip in a goal or two for the club with them? For those that need nudges, I will identify that upfront, and in my planning with them, I'll help them lay out a plan. For those who are stuck and they came because they like X, I'll team them up with X. And when X has a role, I also put them to take a role in that meeting. They are excited, they are happy to serve, and they will achieve their goal. I also had a lot of veterans who are old Toastmasters. They have their DTMs, they are feeling now the young ones needs to go around. So what I did with this one, I told them, I agree, you people have done your ropes and you're good, you're just here to cheer us up. But what I said is, but you have skill that you can transfer to the club. And so I gave them more mentees, especially the self-driven ones, so that they could build up on capacity. I also made them evaluate the evaluators. That way, I was building up the scale of evaluation in the club to ensure that we build up on speaking capabilities in the club. You can't believe it that what I did that time, every meeting had the chief mentor of the meeting. The chief mentor of the meeting made sure that every role taker was mentored. You can't just show up because you did the last 3 well. No, every role taker was mentored. Every speaker was mentored. And what was interesting is this. People used to snitch on their mentees that have refused to be mentored. I used to know that beforehand. And so that way, because they had already bought into the idea, then I would nudge this particular mentee and I would tell them, hey, give me your feedback from your mentor on your particular speech. That way we had high quality meetings, and then to build a lot of momentum around preparing for your role and for your role well. And so also part of it, what we did was when we identified the gaps, we had a lot of tip sessions happening in the club. And when we had those advanced speakers who thought, now we can take on some bench, what I did with them is that I looked for mentors for them outside the club so that nobody stayed with idle energy in the club. And I got some of them to compete for contests. And they won, even at the international level. I remember that year, the best speaker for video speech contest came from our club. So spreads, ensure there's nobody who's idle. Make everybody busy. The energy is roaming. Everybody is trying to work for the other. And it's such a beautiful space to work in. And there are productive results that show up at the end of the year. Back to you, just.
Thank you so much. My takeaway from what you have said: no idle energy. No idle energy. All right. My last question to Dan. With all that has been said, and now I am going to rope in your role as an area director, what is the best way that Vice President Education can make use of their area director to just ensure that their club is on point? What is the one tip you can give them on how to work with their area director and just ensure that, by the way, my club needs help? This is how we want to go about it.
Well, thank you for that challenging question once again. How the area... One of the things that people should realize when they're doing the roles like the Vice President of Education on those roles are made not to be done exclusively. I mean, they're meant to be done where you work with a group. So work with a team of people who are working there. So the area director also has with them a program quality director who helps the Vice President of Education work together. And then the different clubs, once we bring them together, who is winning here, tips that are working out, areas that are being challenged, and how can we chip in? And just to realize that, and the people should know that when you're taking up a role, one of the things that Toastmasters does not want to bother people and give them problems of running a role with all they have on their plate, but is to run a role the best way by working in a group, so working with others. Who else can help in? Where do I need? How can I help in here? How can I delegate? Who else can I be mentoring at the time of when I'm doing my role? Who is learning from me? So I can also then have the continuity. Someone else can take over the role when I'm not there. So this is the thing that the area director brings in, that you're not alone in it. The other members who are there, the other clubs who are also having the same challenges, what they're winning at, this is what you can help in. So always consulting. When they have a challenge, helping them consult with each other, and having that they have a committee to work with. In that way, the role does not become one when someone says, and if it's not done that way, you find people who say, I will never, once I reach VP, give me a break. They disappear for 2 years from Toastmasters because they're burnt out. But when they work together in a group, they find that it's much easier, that the role becomes much more fulfilling. So just helping out with collaborations and saying, how can they help together? And this is what we learn from. What am I learning from? And how am I collaborating? The role becomes then quite easy. So that is what the area director can do for them, giving them assistance, giving them committees to work with. I remember one time when I was working, at one point when I was an area director, not an area director, sorry, I was a vice president of education. And we were challenged and we were speaking. The time was about 3 a.m. in the morning, and there was a communication going on. And when I looked, who are we communicating? It was all vice president of education communicating at 3 a.m. in the morning. And that's the group that comes together. So when things are challenging, when things are falling apart, you can turn to another vice president of education. Don't do it alone. Don't pull out your hair. And the area director is there also to say, what more can I do for you? When this is not working, how can we help? That is why they're there. So that makes it much more possible to do the role much more successfully. Thank you. Back to you, Josephine.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm hearing an echo. Okay, it's good. Thank you so much to our panelists. Please give it up for our panelists and the questions they have answered, taking their time and just speaking into us on the knowledge that we need and the work that we need to do as Vice President Education. Moving on swiftly, I have seen the red go up. I don't know how long it has been up. Oh my goodness. Our next tip session is by Frida Owinga. I'm waiting for Frida to appear so that I can continue with her introduction. Frida is currently the Vice President Education at Business Dialogues. Business Dialogues is Toastmasters under the SME Founders Association, which Frida is the founder of, and that is a platform that supports small and medium enterprise owners to grow, scale, and thrive. Frida is also the current regional director for Africa of We Connect International, a global market that connects women-owned businesses to qualified buyers around the world. She is a former and the first African president of the Organization of Women in Trade, OWIT International. Frida is here to give us our second tip session of the day. Welcome, Frida.
Thank you very much, Josephine. And I'm glad it's not a speech, so I can say thank you to people for being here this morning. I was not sure who will show up, but thank you so much for showing up, and thank you for the fantastic insights that have come through. I'm learning even as I hear all of you. Starting and growing a new club with few members and no budget may be challenging, but Business Dialogues is an entrepreneur's club. So we pivot and we progress. We pivot and we progress. We are very clear that it's not about perfection, and we just do what we can to make it happen. So statistics tell us that less than, I think it's 80% of businesses die before their 5th birthday. So we are working hard to make it to our 5th birthday, and I congratulate those that have reached their 10th birthday and beyond. Don't take it for granted. It's a mean feat, and we celebrate you. So by fostering motivation, I'm going to share 3 tips. I know my time is, I have a little time, but I'm going to use it well. So 3 tips. Number 1, focus on small wins and recognitions. I've titled mine Key Strategies for Growing a New Club, because I've realized that in this space, a lot of us listen to clubs that have been here for a long time, people that have been in Toastmasters for a long time, and they're new, and then they judge the young club based on that. So I'd like to let you know that if you're starting a club, be cognizant of that, encourage your members, because you're building and nurturing a new club. So number 1, focus on small wins and recognition. It can get frustrating when a young club is not responding to you. Don't focus on the blue ticks. Don't even bring them up. Find a way to side chat them and speak to them as has been shared before. Acknowledge member effort during meetings, even for small roles like timer or being a guest. What I really like about our EXCO, they are good at that. I am not. So they're the ones who you'll see hugging people when we have physical meetings. They're the ones you'll see appreciating people for what they have done. So as a VPE, surround yourself with people that have the skills and strengths that you don't have, because you cannot do it alone. That has been very helpful for me. Share milestones such as members delivering their icebreaker or completing their Fast Pathways project. Our president is very good at that. I'm always like, okay, we're done. Next meeting, so-and-so is up, let us go. But I'll find our president and SAA are very good at spotlighting success and appreciating others. So you can use social media. Social media and Canva are your good friends. We have a designer, SME Founders Association has a designer that does all the templates for us. Then we just go in and plug in the names. So it makes work easier for the VPPR. And even if the VPPR is not there, another EXCO can jump in and help. So the impact of this is that regular recognition boosts morale, keeps members motivated, and encourages active participation. Number 2, which has also been mentioned, build relationships and community. Don't just be about people getting, filling the roles and doing this and the other. It begins to feel like a school. And as entrepreneurs, they don't like that, all right? As entrepreneurs, we are our own bosses. Don't come and boss us around. So you have to be intentional about creating a community. Understand the culture of your club. Our club is for entrepreneurs, so we make sure that you understand here we are for entrepreneurs. So create a supportive and connected environment that members love. One thing we are trying, I can't say that we have succeeded at it, is we have what we call buddy circles. And the purpose of having the buddy circles is that to ensure that every exco has a number of people that they are shepherding. Shepherding meaning they're mentoring those people, inviting them to the activities, finding out what is happening. And this can be a challenge if the exco is also young and they also need support. But we are trying it, and I believe that it's a good way to help others come together so that you create a healthy community. Take time to understand their personal goals and reasons for joining. So you can't do all that alone as a VPE. Somebody said they're 40 in their club, as we are 11, all right? So I can't imagine doing that for 40. But as 11 with 5 exco, everybody has 2 or 3 to take care of. It becomes a culture. The members are growing and knowing that this is what we do at BD. It's a whole game changer. We have the mentality of we are creating a community and it is a long game, because we have not been here around, but we are pivoting and we want to be here for the long haul. So a strong sense of belonging keeps members engaged and inspired to contribute while also attracting new members. My last tip is maximize free and accessible resources. Tap into other Toastmasters. Toastmasters has a lot of tools, but I remember when I was starting, one of the people that really helped me was Karen. She has all kinds of tools, all right? And she's very generous. So I believe in tools because they can be duplicated. You can create a standard. So that really helped me. But I just didn't ask her for her tools. I also visited her club many times. I loved going to Gong Road. They meet at Gong Hills, not just to see how Karen was performing and how her club was performing, but also to eat the chicken wings. So travel, don't just talk to people on WhatsApp. Go out there and see others so that when you're asking for role takers from that club, they know who you are. Invite them also. So tap into other Toastmasters and tap into their tools, and then do what I call brag, borrow and brag. After you borrowed, go and brag and look like a superstar. It is allowed in Toastmasters. Then look for venues that are, as an entrepreneurship club, we need to be in a place where professionals and entrepreneurs will feel comfortable coming there. So we used to, the first 2 locations we met at, we didn't have good feedback, but now we have now we meet in a place that we got access to through Kwanzaa Toastmasters. Again, tapping into other Toastmasters. We meet at United Kenya Club and we're very happy there. It's neat, it's easy to access, whether you're driving, coming by matatu or otherwise. So considering where you meet is also very critical to make the members comfortable. We meet twice a month, and I find that some members like doing stuff virtually, some members like doing things physically. When we meet physically, we use that opportunity to network. Our meeting, the first 30 minutes, we network, we have tea and we eat. A couple of people have said, you guys eat before your meeting. Yes, we do, because we believe in community and fellowship happens through food. Finally, creative use of resources enables your club to provide high-value experiences without budget. The budget thing, I'm actually going to put it out there as a question. What do you do around budget as a new club? How do you grow your budget to do extra fun things? Any of the panelists can answer that for us as I finish. Finally, building a new club may take effort, but starting small is a chance to grow a strong foundation. Recognize progress, foster meaningful connections, and make the most of available resources. With creativity and commitment, your club can thrive and become a beacon of excellence, as we believe Business Dialogues will be one day. Thank you very much, PQD Josephine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Frida, for those tips. I keep on telling people I've been taking notes. I've been here long enough, but I've never stopped learning. I am going to ask our participants to please put your questions in the chat so that we can move on to the next session, which is going to be, I think, about 13 minutes long. And our next session is breakout rooms. Madam SAA, should I open the breakout rooms as we put the questions in the chat? Let me just grab my questions and put them in the chat.
Yes,
Now,
please.
what we want to do right now as what is the word I'm looking for? In the breakout rooms, we want to see how has your role as a VPE been so far? What has worked for you? What hasn't worked for you? How have you mitigated the challenges that you have come across? We have heard how it can be done, but now we want to hear from you as VPEs. How have you done it? And what are some of the interventions you require from the area, from the division, from the district? How can we at this point help you? Yes, Frida. Oh, you're muted.
How many breakout rooms do you need?
Let me see, how many people do we have? We have 21 people. So put 4 people per breakout room. I think myself and Christine will not be in breakout rooms. So everyone else except myself and Christine. So if we have 4 people in
So
a
that's
breakout
like 3?
room, yeah, I think about 3 or 4 breakout rooms.
Okay, on it.
Yes, yeah. And just put them randomly, assign them one to whatever number. Let me see, because we have 5 questions, assign them one. If there are 5 breakout rooms, that will be good. You go discuss all that. But when you come back to the main room, group 1 will be tackling 1, group 2, number 2, that way, so that we each get to hear from all the groups. Okay, so let me put the questions in the chat. Those are the questions. Oh, wait, let me number them so that they're very clear. But as soon as you're ready, let me know.
So you said I don't put you in a room. All right,
And
almost
Christine.
there.
Myself and
Almost
Christine.
there, Christine. Christine has disappeared. Christine, are you here? Okay, I've seen her.
You've seen her?
All right, we have, yes, I've seen her. I've created 4 rooms with 4 people each.
Okay, all right. Give me a minute. Let me see something here. It's not working. Okay, there we go. We have all those questions. Just open them up so that people can go in.
I open them? All right.
Yes.
Do you have the questions yet?
Yes, and I'll also place them on each group's question. So just open them up.
Okay. So before you go to your groups, please collect your questions. Opening now. Open all rooms. Rooms opening. Okay. You'll see, I'm sure by now you know this room story. All right, all right. Let's join our rooms. Please join your room. If you're struggling, let us know. Okay. Some people have entered more than, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm gonna move this one.
Okay.
2, 3. Please join your room so we have quorum in every room. I think to Amanda. Mikali, business dialogues. All right. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm going to room 2. See you guys.
All righty, see you. Thank you.
How you can see how much time do we need there?
We're doing 10 minutes. You're coming back at 8:50, at 11:50.
Okay.
All righty.
11:50, 10 minutes. Let me set that up then.
Okay.
I think I can. Options. No, I'll just go back and close them. 11:50.
Yes, that's okay. I can close them when the time comes. I can see from here.
You can manage?
Yes, I can manage.
Okay. Sawa.
Thank
Let
you.
me go then. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
Where am I going? I'm going to room 1. I'm trying to see where there are lesser people.
Any room,
Okay,
1, 2, or
here.
3? Any of them?
I've entered 3. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. As co-host, Madam Eddie.
Yes, am I a co-host really?
Wait, you're not yeah, you are a co-host. As co-host, you can jump into any room.
Okay.
You can jump, come out, and just listen to the conversation.
Yeah, so that I listen to the conversation. That's what I want to do.
Yes.
Oh, I'm a co-host now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're a co-host.
Let
So
me
you can
jump
just
into
jump
any,
in.
and then after that, we will give them each group to give, like, is it 2 minutes to give their report or 1 minute each?
Oh, 1 minute each.
1 minute each to give their report. Great.
Yes. Okay.
Let me jump into a room.
Okay.
I wasn't supposed to take such a big part in this meeting today, but the person was supposed to run with it. Either pending or something, but anyway, something came up. They wanted to go. Yeah.
Brings a soldier from a military tribunal. No way. It could have been a lot of soldier everywhere. It's staying in the army wasn't Logan's motive, and maybe it was somebody else's.
No.
No?
Hugging her daughter, considering the situation we are in. So yeah, I had something to say myself. Come sit down here.
Sorry, what's wrong with me? What do you mean? That's so interesting.
Can you think of anyone that your dad might have had an issue with? Maybe someone who's planning on writing up for misconduct?
If there was, he wouldn't have told me. He believed his role was to support and protect his soldiers, and that meant guarding their privacy like it was a national secret. He took his responsibility seriously. He was more than just a federal officer. He was like Hollywood's guys. It was so hard having Cheryl and he liked. I always made sure we got time together. No matter what he had going on, he came over for dinner every Monday, 6 to 8, like clockwork.
The day before he died, and anything said to you.
I wish that I could tell you, but last Monday was actually the first dinner he canceled in years. Can you tell me why?
Okay, all rooms are closed. So I don't know where they've gone. I hope they did not leave the meeting. We will continue. Our first room had Winfred and Eric. How has the VPE role been so far for you? Just share with us. Tell us.
Good morning. I'm presenting for group 1. Apparently, we didn't have a VPE, a current VPE in our group, but we had a lot of experience from Eric from Kwanza and I as area director. So what we have gotten from the VPEs we've spoken about is that the role is heavily relied upon when it comes to club performance. And there have been some good experiences, such as the learning curve that the VPE role presents. But also we've had a lot of challenges along the way. For instance, one challenge is specifically when it comes to corporate clubs, how they navigate their role within Toastmasters vis-a-vis their role within the organization. An example was if your boss is with you have to address your boss's journey as a Toastmaster, and how do you balance that with the work environment? So that came out to be a bit of a challenge. And also we were looking at the impact of member renewal periods. When a mentor does not renew, when a protege does not renew, how do you manage the risks and the impact when we are transitioning across member renewal period and the retention rate? So those are the experiences we explored. And we also looked into, there is still a bit of impact when it came to the transition from the old education program to pathways. And one of the ways we found clubs have managed it is, one, assigning the members who are not really excited about pathways and they still feel that the legacy program was better, but they still want to contribute as Toastmasters. We found other roles that we can assign them, as mentors, as coaches, and so on. And also one thing that we found, one practice that we identified is that at my home club, what we did as the exco is that we actually compared several parts to the legacy program. And we discovered some similar projects that are still within the Pathways program. And we found ways to work around the differences on the same. And so this is how we have managed to, get buy-in from members who felt disenfranchised by the change. So that is the experience that we've got so far, managing those risks, managing people, and managing changes. Back to you.
Thank you so much. I'm hoping we are recording. The second group was to speak to us about, she's already talked about the challenges. So group 2, what has worked? What is it that has worked? And I'll just put a timer so that you know that you have 1 minute. Who is group 2? Can you see the timer? Up there? Up here somewhere? It's timing. Start.
Okay, I have been ambushed. All right. All right, so what have worked? We have, for business dialogues, we have buddy circles. For Almasi, they have cohorts. So having people cheer each other, being able to share their goals and having that support, having peer mentorship within the group has helped to some degree. And then one of the things that really stood out is having a clear schedule where each cohort, especially for Almasi, each cohort runs the meeting, and that means from start to end, from the TMOD to the general evaluator. And what this has done for the club is that it has enabled them to build the muscle for planning, execution, taking up roles. So this has really encouraged them as a club to grow in that area. And I think my time is up. So basically, those are the 2 things that have worked. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you. I did not know it was going to sound like that. All right. Let me see the next one. Our next question was, what has not worked? Give me a minute. Let me just do this again. Let me put it, yeah. Who's sharing for group 3? What has not worked? Charles?
Yes.
You're the one
thank
sharing
you.
for group 3? Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Josephine. So for us, what has not worked as VPs, the idea of pushing members to participate, or what you can say, pushing them to the deep end to find new members. We are pushing them to take up roles, and you find that some of them experience burnout, so they don't continue with their journey. There are others with experience who are also, when you push them, let's say to participate in a contest, they may develop cold feet and even not appear on that day. And also for some clubs, they have not been able to have their contest yet. So that's one thing that is has not worked. I think we need to look for a different way of motivating members to participate and not just pushing them. And we may need assistance from the area in working on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I am loving that timer. Third question, our fourth question, is that it? Yes, our question number 4 to group 4 was, how have you mitigated some of the challenges that you have come across? Who is answering for group 4? Group 4.
Yeah, I think I can take it up from
Okay.
group 4. Yeah.
All right.
So we didn't go to that extent of answering question number 4, but I will highlight some of the experiences from one of the member in the group. So this is a bilingual club, so they speak both French and English, and most of the business sessions happen in either of that language, and it has been one of the biggest challenge for the VPE in that club. And how have they been able to mitigate it? So they have had an experienced member from West Africa coming in to help them and support them. So they are barely a year old, and there are still some few things maybe the area division or district directors can help with in terms of bringing or sharing some of the interventions. Yeah, so that's it. The take from group 4.
All right. Thank you so much, group 4. Okay, now I'm going to put this as an open question so that the VP is in the room. And I am seeing quite a number of you in the room. And I'd like you to put this down in the chat so that I can have it down. What are some of the interventions you require from the area, from the division, from the district, just so that we can have you have a good wait. It's already noon, so just 1 minute for 2 people to just tell me who are the VPEs in the room. 1 minute to tell me what can we as an area, what can we as a division, what can we as a district help you with in your role to make the next 6 months. I am discounting December because we rarely have meetings in December. So January, February, March, April, May, June next year. How can we help you so that those 6 months are better than the past 6 months? Going once. Okay, Frida. Yes, you have a minute. Your time is starting.
All right. One help we need is that can we know about events in advance? We had a very short runway for different events, and we already have our club events going on, plus life and work going on. So it would be very helpful to have a calendar of what is required for the whole year so we can now align our activities with the area activities. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have events in advance. Okay. The next person. Any other? Emily is saying the new portal is a bit challenging. So what you need for us to do is, how do I call it? Conductor training on the new portal? Is that it? Will that be the help you need?
Please. I think with the transition in the pathways and everything together, some of our members are still struggling to log on to the portal. So we may need a bit of help with like either the bugs or feedback on how to upload the what do you call them after they're done?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Evaluations.
Yes. Yeah, uploading the transcripts.
Okay.
Like to complete on their levels, because I'm having a bit of a challenge with that with some of my members.
Okay. Thank you. The next one, guys, I request 5 minutes so that we can finish on this. So we'll finish at about 12:10. Apologies for that. Any other question? No, any other thing? One last one to mitigate. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for that. I am feeling like just summarizing what we have said so far. So what we have said so far is this. Buddy circles work. Having somebody to hold somebody accountable is good. And especially if they are peers, it also works. Having the cohorts work. Having a clear schedule of events works. And this is not only for the club, but also for the area, also for the district, also for the division. And we will trickle this down from the division level because we already have the calendar out so that your area directors can also trickle it down. And that will make it easier for you as VPEs to plan out your calendars. The other thing is, how do we prevent burnout? Because that has not worked. If we have schedules, then members are most likely not to have burnout because they are able now to see where the program of events of Toastmasters can fit into their lives instead of the other way around, trying to fit their lives around Toastmasters. They can now fit Toastmasters around their lives. We have also talked about having support from others, from bilingual clubs, for those clubs that are just starting up, and ensuring that we have those people in place. And we as a division are going to ensure that we help you as much as we can, because the win of one is the win of all. And the loss of one is, sadly enough, the loss of all. So I'm going to hand it over to Madam Eddie. I am not sure, she is not here. She is not here. Our next session, we wanted to, what is the word? Vote for the VPE trendsetter. VPE trendsetter of the area. So the VPE you think is doing the most, the one who has done a bit, that's the one we want to vote for. And I do not have a poll. So I am assuming that the 4 clubs, or are they 5? The Hill, Zumaridi, Business Dialogues, those clubs know their VPEs, and we can vote for the VPE trendsetter. Yes, people? So we
If
have,
you are an area 4 VPE, please tell us your name. Sorry, Josephine.
so we have from Zumaridi, we have from Strathmore, we have Business Dialogues, WFP, RBN, and the Hill.
So we have Business Dialogue, Zumaridi.
WFP, RBN. Let me just put them on the chart.
Rafiki Toastmasters, Emily Manjeru, please.
RBN.
Hey, Rafiki, you are part of
Strathmore?
Area 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Rafiki Toastmasters is with the Hill, right?
Okay.
And wait, I'm
What's that area 4? I don't think so. Rafiki and the
I'm
Hill are not
Area
there.
5.
Emily.
Let the
I
and the
forget whether
area has
we're
been
Area
thrown
4 or
out.
Area 5.
I have the poll, but I need to be sure. And
One second, let me just confirm. It could be Area 5.
Zumaridi.
All right.
Brenda,
Area 5, but you can give her an additional one for Area 4. She does a good job.
Yeah. No, it's Area 5. Sorry, guys.
Area director
Sorry.
has said she can go to Area 4 for today. For today, her area director has agreed. She can go to Area 4 just so that they can vote. And then she comes back to Area 5 after this. So we have Zumaridi, we have Strathmore, we have Business Dialogues, we have WFP, RBN, and we have The Hill. Interesting. Almasi is not an Area 4 club.
Area 8, all the way. Maundu.
I saw your area director in the room.
We just love supporting people. You see how good we are. Area 8.
Oh, nice. Okay, those are the 4. Those are the 4. So Frida, let us know once the poll is up, then we can do that. And I'm hoping that our area director will come back. She has certificates for you. If you do not get a certificate, she's going to put it in the chat. Okay, we are about to close the meeting in the next few. Frida, is the poll ready?
Almost. Give me a few minutes.
Okay.
All right, Josephine, I created the poll, then it disappeared. So why don't we just be creative and they send you the names in your chat so we don't waste people's time. I created it, I don't see it.
I'm here.
I created it, it has disappeared, so I'll have to create it again. So meeting quiz poll.
Am I able to be heard through your link?
Can you all hear Christine? Can you hear Christine? Yes, you can be heard. Talk.
So thank you. Thank you. As Frida creates the poll for the trendsetter VPE of Area 4, that means that is a VPE who has collaborated very well with other tips or other clubs to be able to have effective meetings, and those that the VPE who has also consistently held meetings, a VPE whose mentorship program somewhat works. So those are some of the criteria that we are using to select the trendsetter VPE, because we have very great VPEs in Area 4, but we want to see who goes to our wall of fame. I'm sorry that my network, I don't know what's happening. It has completely refused to come up. So as I try, I hand over to Josephine to run with the poll and perhaps close the session if I'll not be back to the session. So Josephine, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And yes, that is well understood. So as we have 3 minutes to go, but thank you so much, Madam Area Director Christine, for that. So once the poll is ready,
thank you. Let me try again to come back home.
All righty. Frida, once the poll is ready, just launch it so that we can.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. All righty, so I'm gonna try again. Add choice, show as drop down, self-save, quiet, save me as meeting poll. All right. Saving, almost there. Imagine, I'm not seeing the thing.
It's gone again.
I don't see it. Okay, let me close that screen and then do polls. Or it's called trendsetter, right? Sion?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, there it is. No, that's not it.
One of the
My
things
friend,
we can do is
you're
just
gonna
ask,
do
we
things
are how many?
locally today.
1, 2, 3.
They're just
We are
5
10
business
people.
dialogues.
10 people.
And there's
Each
5
one
people to
just
vote for.
put it on the chat.
They've been put
You
in
can
the
send
chat,
it directly to me, or you can just put it on the chat. So we have Zumaridi, Toastmasters, Strathmore, Business Dialogues, WFP, RBN, and the Hail. And let us go. Please vote.
It has come.
Oh, good. There.
There
Awesome.
it is.
There it is.
Oh my God.
Please vote. I'm hoping you can hear me. Dan,
Yes, we can hear you.
Beryl, Emily, Brenda, Rose, Charles.
Zumaridi is not there.
Zumaridi
is not there.
Strathmore is here twice.
There's only Strathmore.
let's do this. The first Strathmore, let's use it as Strathmore. The second one that doesn't have an A, let's use it as Zumaridi. Is that okay?
Will you remember?
Okay.
Second one
We
that doesn't
will.
have an A is Zumaridi.
Okay. All right, we have business dialogues, Strathmore, WFP, Zumaridi, and the Hill.
Yes.
Oh, wait, have you put another poll? I don't see it.
You don't see the poll?
No, I only saw the one with the Strathmore without an A.
It's still there. The poll is still up.
The poll is up.
Strathmore without an A?
Yeah, Strathmore without an A is Zumaridi.
Is Zumaridi.
Ah, I get it.
Strathmore without an A is Zumaridi. We have 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm still waiting for people to vote. 5. Oh, wait, let me do something. Yes, please vote. 6. I am not voting, but Frida will be voting. Frida, can you see it? Wait.
I can see. Can I vote really?
You can't vote.
I can't vote.
Yeah, anyone with host rights can't
Co-host
vote.
or host
Speaking
rights
as
can't.
someone who has been put as co-host.
IBC.
Oh, let me do this. Let me remove you as co-host. I can't. Frida is one who can remove co-host rights from you.
This is how IBC
Frida.
gets us.
Yes.
You
Can I
remove
end it?
co-host rights. Remove co-host rights from Chibole so that she can vote. 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, those are 6 people.
Chibole, hold on. I'm coming. Chibole. Chibole, is this you?
Yeah,
Chibole,
panelist
you don't have
Chibole.
co-host.
She does. Number 3.
Panelist Chibole. Okay.
Yes.
Co-host. Now, who is the host? I can't change. It's just giving me.
You're the host.
You're the host.
Remove
And then
co-host.
Josephine and
Okay.
I are.
Yeah.
Oh,
Done.
good.
Done. Done.
Okay, done. Awesome. Chibole, now you can do. All right. Awesome. I think we have 2, 3. Good. Everyone has voted. You can end the poll and share. You can end the poll and share. Remember, Strathmore without an A was Zumaridi. So we have 100%. So share results. Can you people see the results? People?
Zumaridi without an A, get it?
Yes, we
Zumaridi
can
without
see.
an A.
Zumaridi without an A, got it.
Yes,
I think
that's who?
3 out
Richard
of 7.
Ochieng.
Thank
Richard
you, our super
Ochieng is our
VP.
super VPE.
They're the ones
All
I'm
right,
very worried
guys.
about.
Thank you. It's great.
They're the ones
My
I'm worried
word,
about their person.
Mulima imechukua.
Okay. Thank
They
you
knew
so
what
much.
they're bringing to the table, so they had to fight for
I'm
it.
telling you.
Oh. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Saturday, and we will see you at the next caucus. Actually, no, we will make a plan to have a training on the new portal. So once that is done and we are ready, we will share with guys so that we can just be able to rally our members to join that training. It has been an awesome, awesome morning. I appreciate it for you guys taking time out from your blankets and your beds this chilly morning just to join me and listen to us discuss and share how we can elevate our VPE experience. Have a good morning. Hey, have a good afternoon, everyone. Happy weekend and a beautiful Sunday tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for
Blessings,
showing up. Thank you,
everybody. Thank
moderator.
you.
Well,
Oh,
thank
I
you.
wish
It
you
was
could take a
great.
picture. You
I
come on screen to take
know.
a picture. We have just been told to do social media noise. We want to appreciate you for showing up for the roundtable. Before you run away, the winner, who was the winner? The Maridi
Amanda.
president is here. They are
Amanda.
gone already. I think the
No,
Maridi
we are
president is
here.
here.
We are here. We just can't show our
Zumaridi.
face.
Oh,
These
you
are
can't show your
recognition
face.
twins.
They can't
Kwanza
show
ni
their
nini
faces.
wote hapa?
Wako chini
So
ya
open your
blanketi.
cameras, we take a picture.
Wako chini ya blanketi yao.
Exactly. Now we are not
Sawa.
presentable.
Mutatumiwa certificate na AD. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Have a wonderful day. Thank
They'll
you.
send you photos of themselves you post on LinkedIn.
Yes.
That's a
Got that.
Yaani Josephine umetuweka mpaka usingizi ipotee, lakini wapi, narudi kitanda bado. Bye.
Rudi kitandani.
Host is ending the meeting.
Thank you.
Turudi kwa
Alrighty.
kitanda.
Bye.
Before it starts
Bye.
shining and we change plans.
I know.
Bye.
Yes, please. It's still doing